Buongiorno ragazzi, mi chiamo Santi dell'Ai and welcome to Cooking with Santi. I'm glad that you joined me here today for my cooking show. I finally got what I wanted. It's been a long struggle fighting with all these producers and just my fellow classmates and trying to get this cooking show off the road, on the road. But we're finally here and we're gonna make some wonderful pizza dough. Might I add, I am a first-class chef and I hope to bring you some wonderful cooking classics that in the next few weeks that will really, bring us together. That's what food's all about. At least that's what it's been in my family. So anyway, today we're making some pizza dough, and I can remember growing up making pizza all the time. My dad making the dough from scratch, adding that sauce, the cheese, the meats, the vegetables. It's going to be wonderful. So the basics of pizza comes down to the dough. Gotta face it, you can't have pizza without pizza dough. So that we're gonna make that dough today, and it's really simple to make and actually really economical. It's not all that expensive to make some pizza dough. So our ingredients for today are gonna be flour, sugar, salt, yeast, and then these are the tools of the trade, if you will, our measuring cups. It's very important that you keep all of your ingredients together, and you want to make sure that the proportions are correct. Again, for this pizza dough, I like to use a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of water. And then the salt and sugar and yeast, or all those things are going to bring that dough together and make it what it really is. So let's get started on cooking this cooking dough, shall we? Or cooking this pizza dough, shall we? First ingredient we're going to add is going to be our flour, and that flour is really the basis of this. And like I said, for this pizza dough, we're going to have 2 cups of flour, and then later on we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. So this flour is really the basis, like I said. It's what's going to bring the dry ingredients together. And this is just regular all-purpose white flour, but you could use any kind of flour. You could use a wheat flour, an multi-grain flour, depending on what your preference is or what your health restrictions cause you to have. But again, pizza is something that brings you all together. Make sure that your dough is really good. The next ingredient we're going to add is going to be our sugar, and our sugar is really going to be like that sweet taste. And we're going to have 1 teaspoon of sugar. So we have one teaspoon right here, not to be confused with the tablespoon. And again, the sugar is going to bring that sweet taste to the dough, make it really what it truly should be. And it's really going to all come together. It's going to be wonderful. The next ingredient we're going to add is going to be that salt. The salt is really going to bring it together. Again, 1 teaspoon of salt. So teaspoon of salt, like I said, it's going to add that robust taste, balance out that sweetness, and bring our pizza dough to what it really could be and what it should be, really. So lots of good salt is good. Next ingredient we're going to add is going to be that water and that yeast. That yeast has to be activated in warm water, so you want to get water that's kind of lukewarm. You want it to be steaming hot, but you don't want it to be super cold because you need to activate the yeast. And really, it's the water, like I said, should be lukewarm, and we want that yeast to be activated, and fresh water would be great. That truly adds it together. So 1 tablespoon of yeast is really going to bring that dough together. And like I said, lukewarm water would be wonderful as well. So once all those ingredients come together, it's going to come time to knead the dough. So if we could have someone come out here and they're going to knead the dough, it's really a critical part of making this pizza. We got to combine all those wet and dry ingredients, bring the yeast together, and again, like the yeast. Let me emphasize that more on the yeast, because the yeast is really going to make your dough what it is. If you don't have that yeast, you're not going to have that soft dough for your pizza. Yeast is actually really a bacteria, and it's activated by that warm water. It's a bacteria, that's right. And that's what's going to create. The bacteria is going to become alive, and the bacteria is going to come alive, and it's going to die. And when it dies, it's going to release these gases, which is going to put those little air pockets in your dough to make it really what it is. So looks like we need someone else to knead the dough together. It would really be great if we could have someone do it. Again, like I said, we're going to combine these dry and wet ingredients together. So
it's so smushy.
Yes, it's smushy. It's really fun. If you remember when you were in school, maybe as a preschool, making some Play-Doh, it's kind of similar. But this is actually something we're going to cook with, which is going to be great. So once the dough is all kneaded together, we're going to have to let it rise. Now, bread dough, you're going to let it rise for a few hours, but pizza dough, we only have to let it rise for about a half hour because we don't need all that we don't need as much air in our dough. So what I did is I went ahead and I prepared some dough earlier today, about a half hour ago, and let it rise. So when you let it rise, what you have to do is you have to really put it in a dark place and cover it so that the gases stay in there and that it's cool and dark. So once all it comes to rise, we need to pound out those air pockets, because you don't need that many air pockets. So Brian, could you maybe pound out this dough? Like really just like put something to it. Just go for it. That'd be great. Yeah, pound it out. And then once you pound it out, you're going to stretch it into the pizza shape. So you can go ahead and stretch it if you like to make that pizza dough. So they're going to be stretching it. Let me just talk about what kind of things go into your pizza. You know, once you have it all stretched out, you can multiple ways of cooking it. You can cook it on a pizza stone that goes in your oven. That's something a little bit more expensive. Or you can just use a regular cookie sheet, round or square, whatever you have on hand, and just spread the dough on that. Make sure that the dough is greased pretty well so it doesn't stick to your pan. And once it's there and stretched out, you're going to add your sauce. Regular jar sauce is fine. You can add some cheese, whatever works for you. Cheddar is always a nice thing to add. Gives it a little bit of a robust taste. And then you're going to add your meats and your vegetables. My favorite is pepperoni. So they're working on this dough, stretching it out. I'll be right back with some goodness. What are you doing? That's not how you make a pizza. You don't. And that's how it's done. It's really, really great. If you can see, the pizza's nice and cheesy. It has a nice pepperoni. So thanks for cooking with Santi, cooking with me, and hope to see you back for some other cooking shows. Thank you.